hearts alight with giving glow, side by side through highs and lows. Together find a way to show love that only grows. Lee and Betty's guiding star shines on missions near and far, helping hands like we were one till the day is done. Spread love's light through the night, mission 22 in sight, hearts burning bright. Wreaths across the winter snow, each a promise we bestow, honoring those who let us know freedom's seed we sow. In the shadows be the spark, light a fire in the dark. With one voice we'll make our mark, together we'll embark. Through the valleys we unite, every step a gleaming light. With the Johnsons guiding sight, we make the world right.
JJDrones, they take the load, winging it with friends in tow. Life on the screen, you watch the show. Laughs and chatter in the air, nothing to hide, nowhere rare. Live stream fire, join the flare, adventures wild without a care. Tune in live, don't be late. JJDrones, if they communicate, stories bold, videos great. Join the team, feel the faith. Tech and travel, flying high, questions answered, never dry. Drones and gadgets touch the sky, all the news, no alibi. Underneath the digital sun, friends and fun, they are the one. Learning's cool with a twist of fun. Hit subscribe, the ride begun. Tune in live, don't be late. JJDrones, if they communicate, stories bold, videos great. Join the team, feel the faith. She said media brings the answers, drone and veteran shows disasters. TJ and Gary make us laugh, while the train wreck clears the path. Tune in live, don't be late. JJDrones, if they communicate, stories bold, videos great. Join the team, feel the faith. Join the team, feel the faith.
I appreciate all of you for coming along for this ride with me, and we'll see you later on down the road.
I'm Karl Marx, and I approve this message.
It's JJDrones Live. Welcome to the train wreck. Thank you, everybody, for coming in today. We have got TJ Giggles FPV. Hey, TJ. We've got Ted from Out the Hook Outdoors. We've got Jamie Conway. And Jenny is backstage while Steve is getting ready to be in the hot seat. Thank you for coming in today. It is a special edition. Oh, hi, Journey. Forgot about you. I'm sorry about that. But first, to have one of videos featured, it's a train wreck. To have one of your videos featured on my website, email me, Jason at JJDrones360.com. And for everything JJ Drones related, go to JJDrones360.com. And you still have time. Christmas is just around the corner, but use my Amazon links, JJDrones360.com/Amazon1. And if you would like to donate to the Lee and Betty Johnson Memorial Charity, just email or just go to JJDrones360.com/donate. And you can also help out by going to the Spreadshirt shop. It's JJDrones.myspreadshirtshop.com. And of course, for 2025, Dan's going to be taking submissions for Blinker Fluid of the Week. So go ahead and get your submissions into Dan. It's Droning Veteran jjdrones@gmail.com. Thank you, everybody, for coming in today. It is it's a special edition of the JJ Drones program because we have Steve from Stormy Sky Real Productions that's going to join us today. We're going to be talking about something that's going to be extremely crucial if you want to help save a life sometime in the future. So we're going to educate you on that because that's what we do here on the JJ Drones program. And I'm going to give you my opinion, which is also what we do here on the JJ Drones program. And we are going to crown our Blinker Flute of the Year award winner. And we have a special announcement for one of our panelists up here today. So let's start bringing up our guests. You know him, you love him. He is the man with the plan, and he is the one that gives us all of our Blinker Fluid content. His name is Dan, the droning veteran.
Everybody.
And he lives in a van.
It's crunchy.
But he lives in a van, but it could be a gingerbread house. His name's Gary from Jailbait and Tackle Outdoors.
Boy, look at the ginger.
And then we've got the cheesiest of cheeseheads. He's Brian from Cheesehead Media.
Hey, everyone.
Who you got there with you, buddy?
Who needed some attention right when the podcast started?
Oh, of course. And he is not a stranger to the program and a really good friend of mine, and we're going to bring him up right now. He is the host and purveyor of Stormy Sky Real Productions, among a couple of other folks, Jenny and Dave. His name is Steve, and we're going to bring up Steve right now. So, Steve, how are you doing?
Doing fine. Just busy this year. Getting over my pacemaker procedure 3 months ago, so got that. I'm feeling better. But otherwise, thanks for having me on the show. It's been a busy time. Hopefully, I'll be able to do this stuff more often next year. So,
well, that would be great. We'd love to have you on the program a lot more. But if you haven't been familiar, this year, Blinker or our show has been unofficially sponsored by Johnson Juice, and we just want to say thank you, Johnson Juice. And they're ready to go.
Cocktail sauce and the Johnson Juice mixed in. So what I'm going to do is just swallow drizzle, swallow swizzle, a little bit of that on there. Now we're going to talk about these tuna chunks, tuna kebab. Here's one small piece. Tuna kebabs with Johnson Juice and cocktail sauce. It's not bad. It's really good. Talk about good improv. Thank you, Johnson Juice. Appreciate you. Love you guys. Great organization.
Nothing tastes better, all thanks to you.
Thank you, Johnson Juice, for your sponsorship this year. Now we have been doing Blinker Flute of the Week now for our second year now, and Dan, you've been doing a lot of hard work putting these videos together. What has it been like for you this year, getting the Blinker Flute of the Weeks all put together?
It's been a lot of fun. I've enjoyed it. I mean, there was a time, obviously, it was a little bit hard, but it made it actually took my mind off of things, so it also helped in that way. But one thing before we get this going, last week I missed the live. Yeah, it was last week, right?
Yes.
I can't keep track because we went to the Christmas lights, and I was really looking forward to being on it. And me and Gary was talking and about because he posted a video about wreaths across America, and he was talking about bringing it up, the meaning of coins on a headstone of a service member, and I would like to touch base on that, if you don't mind.
Go for it.
So, if you're in a cemetery and you see a coin on the headstone of a service member, if you see a penny, it means a service member. I can't. Oh, what is it?
Do you want to come back to it?
Yeah, let's come back to it for just a second. I gotta.
All right, let's let Dan go ahead and get his thoughts together, and we'll play our Blinker Flute of the Year. Well, Blinker Flute of the Week, but it is Blinker Flute of the Year, and this year it is spiked gingerbread flavor. Spiked gingerbread. Let's get into it.
Lines, backing up takes them 5 tries. Long way down a one-way street. Did you get your license from Love Tweet? Who's a blaring all the week? Still they drive on like a clown. Stop sign means just slow down. Congrats, you've earned our weekly crown. Ooh, too.
It's Blinker Fluid of the Year. And here's the winner.
The winner right there.
A double yellow line. Welcome to Blinker Fluid of the Week.
Winner,
Number
winner.
one.
Chicken dinner.
That's right. That's why you put it right up front, so you already know what one to vote for.
Oh, and right through the stop sign. We got a double.
A double whammy.
I
for
knew
number
we'd
one.
find something.
And here's number 2 from Christian. Now, this one, I actually thought that the car hit him, but he said that the car did not hit him.
Yeah, it almost looked like it.
Well, the ambulance sure took
the
a
ambulance.
last minute right turn too, you know.
Yeah. And here's number 3.
Double whammy, too.
Keep track of the numbers, folks, because you're going to be voting in the chat 1 through 11 in the chat. Hashtag, number sign, tic-tac-toe. And the only number you have to really remember is number 1. And here's number 4. Wow, that was that was crazy.
When I seen that car come across, I was like, oh.
Here's Brian. This is where Brian actually learned what it's like to poop your pants.
Yes.
Now I'm more of a pucker factor at that. I didn't need a seatbelt. Amazing how quicker butt cheeks can grip a seat.
Here's number 6.
If you notice a truck and trailer trying to make a left-hand turn that decided, oh, I can't go that way.
Well, you can't just, continue on and go back and do it again another way.
Yeah, when somebody's going the wrong way.
Right.
Whoopsie.
Whoopsies. David had a good one here, and I'm glad that David started contributing.
Me too. He's got a couple other good ones coming up.
Also, he still made the left.
Here's number 8.
That one there, We should have been in that right lane. But we was hungry. So we was in the middle lane. Or we could have ended that chase really quick for the police officer right there.
Well, Dan, he was just too busy trying to get away from the po-po. And here's number 9. I hear something coming.
I thought this one was pretty funny.
Oh, there it goes.
Oh, I'm not going to stop. Okay, now I'm going to stop. He sat there, too. I drove past him. Pulled over a little late, I guess.
And number 10. I really like how you blew this up, Dan.
Thanks, yeah. The look on the guy's face was hilarious. But you could tell he's done this a time or two. I mean,
right.
You know, when you got to have your phone recording while you're moving cones.
And finally, number 11.
I had to throw this one in there because I had to get my last lap in too.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, she cuts me off, and the left lane is closed up there, and then she goes left, and I just busted up laughing.
Well, you can vote for number 11, but just subtract one of the ones. Just take away one of the ones, and you'll be fine.
I believe either number 6 would be the winner, but I would also throw in a vote for number 2 because, I mean, the guy passing a double yellow. I mean, it's California. It's common. There's nothing special.
Happens all the time.
All right, folks. Here is your chance. You have voted these videos into the position they are at. You have the opportunity now to make your voices heard one more time for the Blinker Fluid of the Year award winner. So you have the choice between videos 1 through 11, and you can put those in the chat. And Dan is going to be monitoring throughout the show. And then at the end of the show, we are going to announce our Blinker Fluid of the Week winner. So get your votes going now. And we already have one vote for number 1. That's it, Dan. You got the winner. That's it. Good night, everybody.
They're all stupid drivers as I'm concerned. They're all stupid drivers.
Yes, Gary.
My head's on every video.
Can someone put me down for number 5, please? And I want to show you my little analogy. Brian, when he was driving, he went from that to this.
Was that number 5? I thought it was number 6.
Oh boy, we may have to go and we may have to show those videos again before the end of the program. But let's get into what we're here to talk about today.
Well, I had my brain fart is over.
But Dan, did you come back to realize what you were trying to say?
Yes.
Okay, go for it.
Okay. So if you're at a gravesite and you see a coin on a headstone of a service member, a penny means somebody was there and visited. A nickel signifies somebody who served with that person in boot camp. A dime means a visitor served with that person at some time in his service. And if you see a quarter on a headstone, that means the person that laid that quarter was there at the time that that person passed away. And that's the meanings of the coins on headstones.
Well, thank you for sharing that. Thank you very much. And I am so proud of this audience and what we've been able to do for Wreaths Across America and Mission 22. And I will have an announcement for Mission 22 probably the end of next week. So stay tuned for that. But today yes, Gary.
Just one quick comment to Dan. In my video, the coin that was placed on the one marker there was a penny, just in case nobody could see that.
Okay, so it meant that somebody stopped to visit. So
yes.
That's good to know. So bring a thing of change with you when you go visit to the cemetery, especially pennies, just so that people know that you stopped to visit. So what we're here for today is there was a tragic rail accident, and Brian or Steve, whichever one of you want to take this, you can kind of describe what happened.
Go ahead, Brian.
So on Wednesday evening in Pecos, Texas, Union Pacific intermodal train was traveling west. There was a high-wide semi-truck that got stuck on the rail, and unfortunately, the two crew members on the railroad locomotive perished.
Now, this is going to be a triggering video. So those of you that are sensitive to these types of videos, I will give you a warning now. I'll give you a 5-second countdown, and I'm going to show you basically what happened. And this is from News West 9. News West 9. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And after that happened, the train actually derailed. So I'm going to take that away, and then we are back for those of you that need to be turned away. So here's the thing, okay? There's a lot of people that want to speculate on things. They want to blame the train. They want to blame the truck driver. My biggest complaint here is the truck driver, because the truck driver should know what route that he's taking. I've been down in Texas many times on my travels, and if there's a high center point on a railroad tracks, there are signs that state that. There's also a possibility that the truck driver might not have put his landing gear all the way up. There's so many things that could have caused that truck to get stuck on those railroad tracks. And the job of the truck that's in front of him, the escort truck, his job is to make sure that that truck makes it over those tracks. And if he didn't think that he'd be able to make it, then that should have been something that the escort truck should have pointed out as well. So I put a lot of onus on the truck driver on this. Trains cannot stop on a dime, neither can trucks. But it can take a train miles to stop, miles. So we're not here to blame the people on the railroad. What we're here to do is to educate everybody, and I think that's the most important part. And our thoughts and prayers go to the families of the two people that perished in that railroad accident. So Steve, you were a railroad inspector, and at that time, when you were working, you probably didn't have the ability to do this. But you said that there's a way that we can actually jump in and help if a situation like this were to happen.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Jason. And one comment, thank you for all the Wreaths of America program that you anyway, so hearts. I'm sorry, I'm kind of teared up a little bit. Um, um, Thoughts of and prayers go out to the families and the train crew that lost their lives in this unfortunate incident. When I was working during my career, 25 years with the Canadian Pacific, I worked all of it in the track department. And our signal maintainers, that department took care of the crossing stuff. But we always worked next to the signal maintainers who maintain crossings. And they started putting up the blue. You look at a crossing. I don't have one on here to show you, but there's a blue sign on each crossing. There should be a sign on each crossing across America.
Okay, well, before you go much further, let's play a video that Dan did to show everybody what that looks like. Okay, so that's the sign that you're talking about.
That is the sign.
So it would have, instead of X's after the 800 number, it would have the 800 number of the railroad.
Yeah.
And then that crossing would be where that would be whatever the railroad company's position would be.
That identification number, they will punch it and it'll take them right to where he is right now. So they'll be able to, they got all the information up there. They'll be able to get in contact with the subdivision dispatcher. Everything, it'll be clockwork there. So, that's the number. I don't care if you're not a trucker or a regular citizen. Even you guys that are truckers, pass the word around to society in general. This is an educational moment that we all need to take in consideration so this doesn't happen again. This is starting to happen all too frequently. All we hear is train hit this, train hit this truck, train hit. It's starting to happen all too common. And we need I'm not going to point the finger. I'm not going to play the blame game. Let the NTSB and all them organizations do their investigation and come up with the final results. I'm not here to do that because I don't speculate. But we got to take this opportunity as a whole, truckers, railroaders, everybody, and get this word out about these blue signs at the crossings. I don't care if you're not in your truck or you're just a concerned citizen. The gates are broken. Let's say a broken gate, you witnessed it. Call that blue number, that blue sign number there. That's what we need to stay focused on right here is education. And a lot of people don't know about this blue sign. The more and more you talk to people, it's like, wow, what blue sign? So we really need to get not only us, but everybody and the organizations DOT and stuff should probably have, messages on this, like Operation Lifesaver too. They're going to start, I think, really getting this going now. But this very well could have been prevented, I think. But I can't speculate on nothing because I wasn't there and I don't have enough information to say what should have been, should have, would have, could have. So that's my standpoint on this. It's anybody who you come in contact with. And I agree, all the truck drivers on this channel, I'm just talking for you guys. And Brian brought up a good point, and I'm going to remind everybody, whatever company you work for, bring this up to your safety coordinators. I strongly agree with Brian to do what he said, to do that. And also, if I'm up at the municipal where I live too, I'm going to say, you know what, we need to put signs out. They need to come up with signs to put and educate on this because it's really happening more and more and more. All I do is get on the computer. I get railroad news all the time. All I see the last 5-6 years, it's been going on forever, but more frequently, trucks and semis getting hit, derailments happening. It's getting. During my career, it's amazing how many idiots we've seen drive through gates, around gates, and all this other stuff. I mean, I know train crews that kill people. I mean, the society is so, they don't have situational awareness, and it just frustrates us railroad workers because we shake our heads a lot every day, and so you guys truckers see a lot of idiots every day too. So we're talking the same common interest here. However, us railroad aspect, when we're working by a crossing or down further, and we're shaking our heads like, what the heck is that clown doing? Why can't you take safety? And I'm kind of giving this into a general point, not just what happened here, but into a general point.
So Steve,
yeah.
Steve, you brought up Operation Lifesaver. Can you kind of touch on what that is?
Operation Lifesaver is an organization that talks about railroad safety and if around track safety, about like pedestrians, vehicles, and that kind of stuff. They run campaigns about like Rail Safety Week and trespassing and crossing safety and such like that. If anybody buy a computer, just go to Operation Lifesaver and it'll take you right to a lot of different things.
Okay, Steve, I'm going to let you turn around again because I'm going to bring Brian in on this to comment on a couple of these pictures. These pictures are just screenshots from the video. And this is the picture of the truck that is stuck on the railroad tracks. Now, it's been reported by the person or persons that were making this video with their phones that the truck was sitting there for at least 45 minutes. Now, I don't see any emergency personnel there. I see the escort truck, I see the semi, and then I see a line of cars. And to me, that doesn't look like a line of cars that would line up 45 minutes worth of traffic.
No, and again, until the NTSB releases their report, that's internet speculation. I mean, it could have been initially reported as 45 seconds too. You just don't know. I just want to point out, Steve was in track service. I was in T&E, train and engine service, so I would have been one of the crew members aboard that locomotive. I do have 3 grade crossing accidents under my belt, one of which was a fatality. So I can give you that perspective, unfortunately.
Well, we'll get to that here in a second. But why don't you tell the audience at this point here where the railroad operators are going into what looks like to be a large concrete pillar. What are they thinking? What are they doing? How do they brace themselves for impact in something like this?
Believe it or not, there's not a lot in that steel box you're riding in. It's just a chair with a couple of armrests. At that point, either the engineer or the conductor is we always refer to as dumping the air, but they've put the train in emergency, and you're grabbing onto whatever you can next to you, in front of you, and you're going to hold on for the ride of your life. You're hoping you're going to stay on the rails. With something that big, you probably expect that you don't, and it's just a matter of holding on.
Steve, I just want to let you know that the pictures are done. But Brian, you said that you've had a fatality accident in that situation. What does that do to you working that job?
It sticks with you. I worked with a gentleman that had a fatality between Janesville and Fox Lake. And every time he hit that cross, it happened to be a couple of teenagers. And every time he got to that crossing, he would pretty much stand up, look both ways, have a hand on that brake handle. I mean, and that was 15 years earlier from when I worked with him that happened. I mean, it's just a hyper awareness. The crossing where my fatality happened, you know, you have to go over that every day, or I was going over it twice a day, the job that I was on, you know, so you remember that every day, what happened. And even where it was located, I would have to drive by it on my way to and from work as well at times. So it's a constant reminder. PTSD is a real thing. But you know, it is what it is. I don't know how else to explain it. I think the only person really in this panel that probably understands what I'm talking about maybe it would be Dan, the droning veteran.
Because of being in battle and having to take somebody's life.
It's I can close my eyes right now and I can relive the experience perfectly, and that was in 2000. Wow. So that was 24 years ago. And so it's something you have to live with. So
Steve or Brian, you can take this question. I know that I just generalized how long it takes for a train to stop, but you're talking, it depends on the amount of weight, and you're talking hundreds and hundreds of tons of cargo on these trains. But in a general sense, how long does it take for a fully loaded train to stop? Is it a mile? Are you talking 2 miles? What are you talking as far as like a stopping distance? Because for like semis, they say that it'd take us about a football field to stop. With the studies that they've done, what kind of information can you give as far as that goes?
For emergency, at minimum of 1 mile.
What did you say, Steve?
No, I said, Brian, you can take it. You were in that department.
Okay.
When you're in full emergency, it's a minimum of 1 mile.
And that's
40
loaded.
miles an hour.
That's loaded.
So yeah. So a 100,000 ton train at 40 miles an hour will take a minimum 1 mile to stop.
Okay, Brian.
Yeah,
Brian. Now that was when we were there a long time ago. You know, we forget the stupid PSR stuff. I shouldn't say that. The PSR railroading out there. Now with double the amount of length of trains, probably takes more to stop than what it did before. I don't know because I haven't been there for a while.
You know, my contacts, I was talking about this. Granted, we always had, you know, if you dump the air, PSR is actually a little bit kind of helps at this point, even though the trains are longer, it might take a while, but so what ends up happening, you have to understand the way the brakes on our railroad car are set up. If I take an 8-pound set, which is 4 pounds of pressure per wheel, but anyhow, when you dump the air, you open up a valve, and every railroad car has got a valve. It's called a triple valve, and it opens it up. It releases all the air out of the train line, 80 pounds of pressure to the wheels. Now, in emergency, it's a cascading effect. That's a gunshot sound that you'll hear.
Okay.
It's all those cars releasing there at once. So that's when a train goes in emergency. What Steve was talking about with PSR is that you actually now can trigger that from the rear locomotive. You see a lot of in a pushing or in a helping position. So it kind of triggers that a little bit faster, but it never would have helped in this situation. It's already been announced that that 70-mile-an-hour track, the train was going 68 miles an hour when they made contact, supposedly. So, and it's a long straight track. So, I mean, no, the problem you have is like, well, why didn't they start braking sooner? You know, we're taught that, you don't put the train in emergency until after you make contact. And the reason is that if I saw that truck, 2 football fields away, he might be clear by the time I get up to that crossing. So, if I put my train in emergency, I'm risking derailing my train, causing an accident because of all the forces involved. You're basically locking up the wheels on every single one of those cars. So from that matter, but you can't just slow down either. You can't swerve. I mean, that's what the tracks are for. They're the ones that
No,
steer
and
you.
it's the laws of physics. Anything that's
really
in
is.
motion remains in motion.
Yeah, just the way it's the same thing. I mean, the rules of vehicles is that a train has to stop for a boat. Boats have the right of way because they are so big, so large. They can't stop at all. So trains have to stop for boats. Well, cars have to stop for trains. Or actually, a truck has to stop for a train. A car should stop for a truck. We've talked about it going through a roundabout.
Right.
You guys can't stop or anything. When these little four-wheelers cut you off, it's just the same thing.
Well, and that's why the state of Wisconsin made that a law.
Right.
We're gonna go to Steve, and because Steve, this is obviously emotionally affects you. So I just kind of want to get your thoughts on that because obviously you're not actively in the organization because of medical things, but this clearly affects you emotionally. What triggers that?
Well, it's our just like in any big organization, even you guys, a lot of the veteran truck drivers and stuff, you're all a big family. Well, the railroaders are a big family also. No matter what railroad, what department, we're all a brother or sisterhood. And if one of our brothers and sisters gets killed, no matter what, it goes through the whole rail industry, and we feel it everywhere. And we get. I know a Amtrak engineer that hit two girls holding hands, and it was in a curve right on the Chicago-Milwaukee subdivision. I was section foreman at the time. I got called out to inspect stuff after that happened. The engineer had really bad PTSD and ended up on medical leave, and I think he didn't even come back. I mean, the girls looked right in the cab, right up at him. So not just at railroad crossings, but it's just, what do? You can't stop that train. All of a sudden you killed somebody, and us as human beings, well, I mean, that have a normal state of mind, that's horrific. Especially when you can't control the situation, and that affects not only, I mean, it affects the train crews. All these accidents really affect the train crews and their families, even if nothing happens at the crossing, or if they hurt somebody or kill somebody, that affects them some way. Another train crew hit a kid in Wauwatosa. He had earbuds on. Didn't even look as he crossed the tracks. The gates were down and everything. There's nothing he could have did. I mean, these train crews guys and gals are human. It affects everybody a different way, but it's tragic. I personally can't really look at that video. I really won't, because it just triggers stuff that I've had happen in the past with certain things. But we can all speculate as much as we want, but we have to educate about this. That's the really point I'm trying to make. We got to educate people on this situation.
Do either one of you know the answer to this question? Ken from Lone Cowboy Adventures says, I can't imagine the heat generated between the steel wheels and the tracks.
Actually, I don't think it's as much as he thinks, because there's very little friction. Friction's like the cause of the heat. And if you drain all the air out of a 100-ton boxcar, and it's on straight level ground, you can just get up and push it. You know, it's even someone as big and out of shape as me, I just stand there, you know, give yourself a little bit of wedge, and you can push it and roll it. That's what makes trains so efficient in moving stuff. The heat is going to come by the brake pads rubbing up against the wheels. And, you know, when you heard about the incident in Northeast Ohio, you know, they're talking about track detectors, and they're able to determine whether or not there's heat and stuff. And that can be a whole other conversation. But yeah, it's there's actually very little heat generated there.
Ken also says it happens everywhere in all industries. He missed a pedestrian walking in the middle of the night on the zipper of the interstate, and it does happen.
100%.
But the biggest thing is the amount of education. If something happens like that, look for that sign. And thank you, Dan, for making this video. The signs are there for your for your way to get help for the people that are stuck on the tracks. And if the people in law enforcement don't know about it, if the people in your company don't know about it, bring this up to your safety director, like Steve said, and have your safety director print up something like this so that that your drivers know, or put it up out in a public area so that people know. Because in that picture that I showed earlier, you saw the line of cars. You saw the person taking his phone out, and that's a commentary on today's society. People would much rather film something and put it online than it was to actually go out and help. Yes, Steve.
Yeah, I just want to add to your comment, or Jason. That blue sign is not just for a vehicle being stuck on the track. If any of you truck drivers or know anybody that, or this goes for everybody, but especially you guys are out and about crossing roads, crossings all the time, and doing what you guys need to do to get the goods shipped all over. If you see a gate being broken off, or a gate missing, or anything that's not right with that crossing, such as flashers going and there's no train in sight, nothing around, call that number no matter what. If you see something not right with the crossing in general, call that number. You know, like I said, gate missing, or you know, of course, a car on the track, but the flashers going, nothing around, or you don't see anything, you know, for my straight track, then yeah, if it's been down for a while and you see nothing, then give that number a call. It's not just for vehicles on the track; it's for anything wrong in that general location of that crossing.
Thank you.
Not only that,
Steve is
too.
saying, I'm going to say not even on the tracks. I'm going to say nearby. I mean, how many grade crossings do we see that's next to a roadway? You know, you make a right turn and you're crossing the tracks. There could be a car accident in that intersection. There could be nothing on the tracks at the time, but you know, you could have emergency responders pull up are addressing the accident and not realizing that they're following the right of way. Or on the other hand, you know, here I'm coming around a curve. All I see is red and blue flashing lights reflecting off of a building or something, or the rail in front of me. I don't know if that's there. At least then you have that, you know, you're giving the train crew that situational awareness. Hey, there are first responders nearby. So then that way they can either slow down ahead of time, a little bit of extra bell, add some extra horn, make people aware that they're coming through, even if they're not following the right of way, just for that additional level of safety.
Dan, what were you going to say?
Oh, I was just going to say, too, it doesn't have to be, you know, there's a lot of, and not just truck drivers, but, I mean, civilian, you know, regular people driving their pickup truck with an unsecured load, and they go over those like the railroad tracks that I went over, they're rough on that side. Going the opposite direction, I have to almost come to a complete stop before I go over them with my truck because they're that rough. So, you know, things bounce out of people's trucks. You know, they could be carrying something that, you know, blocking the track some way or form. And, you know, that's another use for that number too. Because a train comes by, you know, it could be like a steel beam or something, or a,
Yeah.
you know, a piece of wood. And I mean, 9 times out of 10, the train would probably just push it out of the way, but it could, you know, it could also hop over it and cause it to derail or whatever else.
Now, I'm going to bring this comment up. Steve or Ken says we have had problems with the trains and GM plant blocking the main road for over half an hour. Now, that's got nothing to do with what we're talking about today. That's just something that happens with the trains.
I can't elaborate on that. So,
and that's not something that you would be calling the phone number for.
No, absolutely not. This is emergency situation, not a train blocking the crossing forever. That's you don't know what went on. The train might have lost air. You just don't know. You know, we don't know, but that's not for this. Brian is right. Jenny and I were out filming for our channel one time, and we were on the Canadian National here in southeast Wisconsin. I come up across the curves and the crossing there. Brian knows what I'm talking about, but it was an accident close by there. Not exactly right on the crossing, but it looked like it would have been close to the crossing enough. Well, me being experienced, I know what the train crews, they get spooked by that stuff if they come up and they're surprised. So fortunately, I got a little more flexibility than the blue number on the crossing, but that's because I have the industry's phone numbers. I kept the dispatcher's number direct for that subdivision when I was taking care of my territory up on the other end. So I had a Canadian National's dispatcher number too. So I called directly and I gave them all the information, exact milepost, but that's because I got qualifications for that. Obviously, I can tell where, and actually the CN dispatcher says, thank you very much. And then a little while later, I got the call from the communications department at CN thanking me because the emergency response team from Racine County did not contact them or give them enough information like I did. So, you know, being myself an ex-railroader, out in the field all the time, even filming trains, if I see something, I'm going to call direct, obviously, because I have the phone numbers direct. But another incident, Jenny and I were out at Burlington, Wisconsin, car accident right following the tracks, which is right next to the rail. Emergency crews working all over right on the tracks and everything. Well, there was a southbound train about 8 miles out, southbound, and we heard this conversation on the radio. I was ready to call a dispatcher, but we heard the conversation on the radio, and I guess a northbound train pulled into the siding at Burlington and seen that from a distance, and then they called the dispatcher right away and said, hey, there's emergency vehicles, and come to find out, nobody ever called it in. So here's a southbound train that would have never known. They would have killed people too if nobody would have activated. We actually talked to the train crew that was in the siding, and they said luckily they were there at the right time because they called it in. And so things do happen. And yes, things happen in any industry. Don't get me wrong. Society in general needs to get back to situational awareness. Even us railroad employees were fed constantly on that, because even us, we can get complacent sometimes as railroad workers doing our job, and all of a sudden a train flies us on the next track. We step in. I mean, things can happen so fast. Situational awareness is
That's a very good point, Steve. I just want to get Gary's comment in here before we start getting things wrapped up here.
Oh, I totally forgot by now. Sorry.
Oh, no, that's fine. So the biggest thing is don't pull out your phone to videotape what's going on the tracks. go up, look at that blue sign, and call the phone number. That's what your phone is for. Let's not just try and get the next video that's going to go up on the internet, because you could be saving somebody's life. So go to the railroad crossing sign. It's in blue. It has all the information that you need, and give the person that answers the phone all the information that they require, and you could save a life. And that's what we are all here trying to help spread the word on. And I think that it's great for anybody that wants to put that to their safety department, if you're in the trucking company, or put out a poster or a flyer or something at your post office, or on a sign, or in a store, anywhere, so that people are aware of that. Now, we're going to go ahead, Steve.
I was going to say one thing. I watched the press conference the next day after this happened, because that's kind of when I found out about it. And the fire chief in Pecos, Texas, was telling people to call 911, which does nothing but delay any sort of notification of the railroad. So even our first responders don't necessarily know this information. So, if you're meeting, if you're just like me and Steve, we're all trackside, and we'll run into our, Mount Pleasant, Sturtevant, for me, Caledonia police officer, say, hey, what are you doing? I'm watching trains. Point that out to them. Make sure that they're aware of that, because they may not even know that blue placard is there with that information.
It's a very good point. Steve, did you want to add to that?
Yeah, whoever did that video, thank you so much. Even from you guys on your end, thank you for getting the word out. No matter who it is, just get the word out on this. I don't care, non-trucker, non-railroad, everybody, just spread the word. And Brian, you brought up a good point. Even next time I talk to any police officer and stuff, I'll get the word out too. It never dawned on me until now, until you said that. Thank you also. And thanks for making awareness of this, Jason. Thanks for having me on. It's just getting the word out and being safe, situational awareness. That's all I can say. And
Steve, thank you very much for bringing it to our attention, and thank you for coming on the program. And we will have you back on the program again, because you're a good friend and you have a wealth of information for our viewers about the railroad industry. But you do have a channel, Stormy Sky Rail Productions. Go check them out on YouTube, Stormy Sky Rail Productions. And you've got a video coming out Tuesday.
Yes, we usually have a premiere every Saturday at 6 o'clock. And we have a special premiere coming up this Tuesday, Christmas Eve. It's a Christmas greeting one. Either 7 p.m. or 7:30 p.m. You'll have to be ready for the notification on it. But either of those two times.
Thank you so much. Now, we're going to play the Blinker Flu of the Week video one more time before we end everything. But before we do that, yes. Before we do that,
Air Trader Steve.
Dan, I lied to Gary, because I told Gary that I was going to be awarding you something tonight, but the only thing you're going to get is my friendship. So I'm sorry.
Oh.
Gary, you have been going through a lot this year, and you're a good friend of the program. You're a good friend of mine. I love you like a brother. And Dan and Brian and Haley all think that you're a pretty cool dude too. So we all got together, and you have been talking a few times about getting yourself a hotel room for the night. Well, we would like you to take this money and get yourself a hotel room, if not for one night, maybe 2 nights. But I'm not going to tell the amount, but you can look on your phone right now, and you'll see. But we want you to get a hotel room. Sleep in a bed, take a shower.
keep the
And
TV up all night.
Just don't watch the Cowboys. But
Thank you.
we want you to have a good night's sleep out of the van and in a hotel room. So that's what that money is for. Use it because we love you.
Thank you.
Do you have anything you'd like to say?
I'll check it after. I'll check it after we're done here, so I don't hit the wrong button and disconnect. But
that's
thank
right.
you guys. I don't know what to say. That's not necessary. I mean, you made it sound like I haven't showered in like a year and a half. No, I shower quite often, but I haven't slept in a bed in almost a year and a half. But yeah, that'll be an unusual experience. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Brian or Dan, do you want to say anything?
I just want to say thanks. Thanks for being my friend. We talked quite a bit during the week, and I really enjoy our little conversations. And they might just be quick little, "Hey, what you doing?" or whatever. But I really enjoy that, and I
thank you.
Want nothing but the best for you. And you're probably one of the kindest people I know. With the purest, heart or whatever. Trying to figure out how to say it, but I mean, you literally have nothing, but you will still give the shirt off your back for anybody, and it shows. And you've done it time and time again. I mean, like the bicycle that bike that you tried to give that not so, he wasn't receiving of it, but I think if I remember right, you found somebody else to take it. Yep. But I mean, yes. There was something else that you could have, I mean, that was money and time that you put towards something else that nobody, would have even thought twice about. And just watch her. Go ahead. I lost my train of thought.
I was just going to say, I thank you guys. And my biggest strength is also probably my biggest weakness. It's just inbred in me. I will give to others before I'll give to myself, because I'm so used to struggling. It's just another day, dude. If I can make somebody else happy that is not used to the struggles, it's just another day for me. I can usually take it. Yeah, I get some mental health breakdowns here and there, and God knows you guys have seen them. But I've said this over and over again. People helping people should be the core of our society. That's all I can say, fellas. Thank you.
Absolutely. Brian, did you want to say anything?
I don't know if I can really top what Dan said. Gary, you're a good friend. I wish we communicated more, and that falls on me. I need to do a better job with that. But every time you've sent me something or just asked me how he's doing, that was kind of warms me up in the inside that you care, and I need to care back more, and I hope you just yeah. I can't say anything without kind of losing it right now.
Well, here is our Blinker Fluid of the Week videos.
Line. Welcome to Blinker Fluid of the Week.
And we're just going to kind of go through these real quick. Here's number 1. That was the winner right there. So vote for number 1.
Through the stop sign. We got a double.
Winner.
I knew we'd find something.
And then here's number 2. This is from Christian. This is going to be your last chance to vote for Blinker Fluid of the Year. So put it in the chat when you see it. And this is number 3. If you've already voted, we already have your vote.
I'm trying to see if. Oh, Steve has. Steve hadn't voted before,
Okay.
so Dave voted last.
Thank you, TJ.
Was that number 5? I'm changing my vote to number 5. Everyone else, change your vote to number 5.
Number 5, everybody.
Number 5.
Is that a 5, Gary? Gary, is that a 5? Is that what you're saying?
Somebody just put in number 5.
That's what Brian looked like before. That's what he looked like after.
Just about.
This one's number 6 with the wrong way driver.
Anti-lock brakes helped. I'll say that.
Oh, I'm sure it did.
I'm actually grateful I didn't get rear-ended by the car behind me.
And here's number 7 from David.
Yeah, that was actually a. I mean, I don't know how close the person was behind me, if anybody was.
Here's number 8.
Well, my next dash cam will have a rear-facing camera as well.
Oh, awesome. TJ changed his vote to number 5.
All right, TJ, you demand.
You trying to get those brownie points, TJ?
He's trying to get that spiked gingerbread. Here's number 9. Dan was a good boy and the other guy was not.
Yes. You pay attention.
I like how he decided to stop after the fact.
Not only that,
That's the part that I don't get.
he stopped after, and then I passed him because he still stopped, and then after I passed him, and 2 vehicles behind me, he pulled out. So I was watching him in my mirrors.
And number 10, this is the guy that's putting his life in his own hands. At least he's filming it with his phone.
Smart guy. You know, if I did that job, I'd probably have 5 GoPros attached to me. Front and back, plus a 360 camera on my helmet.
Merry Christmas to you also, Philip. Thank you so much for coming in. And here's the last one. Dan gets his final last laugh of 2024.
Yes. I think she knew I needed a laugh, so that's why she did it.
All right, Dan, do you have the votes tabulated?
I do. And with
So-
this one here,
Hold on. So we've got all of the votes in. The tabulations have been done.
if I
The
calculated
winner
them right, the winner
has
is
the winner of 2024 Blinker Fluid of the Week is.
Blinker Fluid of the Year.
Oh, I'm
Number
sorry.
5.
Number 5. I got taken down by Brian.
By 1 vote.
By 1 vote. I'll see you next year,
TJ,
Brian.
For that 1 vote.
I'll see you next year, Brian.
Brian, just put your fire out like.
Actually, if I were to be completely honest, number 5 deserved to win because that would have made me absolutely crap my pants.
I don't know. I'll be granted I won, but number 2, that was a very close second.
It was, yeah. It very much was. Christian
I'll
got
say that.
really close. Yeah.
So,
well,
I'm sure
guys,
Christian was cleaning his drawers too after that one.
yeah, I'm sure he was.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, we are getting ready to
Steve's got
close.
something to say.
Steve, you can say something, then Gary, and then we're going to close out the show.
Jason, I want to just say thank you again for having me on, and thank you again for all you do for them service veteran people and everything, the cause every year, and it's just amazing. And thank you everybody on here that drives truck and says thank you very much, and for your services to the community, getting a good ship just like we do. So Merry Christmas to all. Have safe travels. All you truck drivers have safe travels in wherever you go. I always say that. So thank you again.
Thank you, Steve. Gary, what did you have to say?
I was just going to say that, Brian, just so you know, if you had gotten pancaked, don't worry about it. We had some Johnson juice for you, brother. Don't worry about it.
Awesome.
All right, guys. Well, like I do every show, Steve's already closed himself out by what he just said. So we'll start with Brian and work our way around back to me.
Well, first, I just want to thank everyone who did vote for my video. So that's quite an honor that out of all of the submissions from everybody that you chose me almost getting killed to be the best video of the year. But on a serious note, I think Steve said earlier, just situational awareness of what's going on around you. Be safe around the rails. Those are those 2 men. Unfortunately, won't be with their families this holiday season, and also in that matter, Gary, for what you do for Reefs Across America and your veteran awareness. If no one follows Gary's channel, he's got this really neat series where he goes around Milton, Florida, and talks about the different veterans that are being honored off of the light poles. It's every time I watch it, it sends chills up my spine. How many men and women are willing to write that check that says I can possibly give up my life for my country. And Gary, what you do for them and to raise awareness of that is just absolutely amazing. Jason, you pulling us together for Reefs Across America Mission 22. Thank you for all that. Merry Christmas to you and yours as well. And Dan, you're just awesome. I don't even know what to say from everything that you've had to go through on a personal level this year, you and your wife. But thank you for being here each and every week with us that you are. Merry Christmas to you and yours as well. And
Thank you.
That's about it. And everyone who watches this train wreck every Sunday, thank you and Merry Christmas.
Yes. Merry Christmas, Brian. Gary.
Well, first of all, to my brothers and sister, thank you for your kindness that you displayed a little while ago. In reference to what Brian said about the veterans on the flagpoles or the light poles, I was going to get back into doing that, and I may have told Jason in private. I'm not sure if I told anybody else, but they took down all those tributes to hang Christmas decorations. So leading up to Reefs Across America, I wanted to do more of that, but they pulled those down, and I'm assuming first week of January they're going to be going back up. So I haven't done many of those little personal tributes, but I do want to get back to doing that. All I can say is hashtag find a way to serve, and thank you all for all your kindness, your kind words.
Dan.
I just want to say thank you to everybody for watching. You know, I don't want to, I mean, everybody pretty much touched on everything. You know, I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. Be safe. One thing too, railroad crossing wise, one thing that really irks me is when the railroad crossing arms are down and then the railroad crossing, the train passes and the railroad crossing arms go up, and before they're even halfway up, there's cars already going across. Now, I've actually seen, especially on like we have our tracks train, commuter trains like UTA or like buses, but so there's a double train, light rail, yeah. And I watched a truck that was coming up, and the tracks didn't even get all the way, or the arm didn't get all the way up, and it started coming back down and landed on a guy's hood because he jumped the gun and he had to back up and almost got nipped by the track train. So wait till the arm's all the way up. The lights have stopped. You're not supposed to cross until the lights stop flashing anyways. And then after the lights stop flashing, look to your left and look to your right. Make sure it's clear because you never know. So, but Merry Christmas, and just be safe out there. Always, you know, be aware of your situation. Look at what's behind you. Look to your left, your right. Always check your mirrors. Scan ahead of you. You know, don't just look at the 10 feet in front of you. You know, you scan as far as you possibly can. And if you see something that's slowing down traffic, I know it's famous on trucker. You know, we'll throw on our hazards if we're coming up on a slowdown. You know, cars can do that too. If you see something up ahead, throw on your hazards. So, but I'll get off my rant. Happy New Year or Merry Christmas, and be safe.
Thank you, Dan. And I want to say a huge thank you to Steve and Jenny and Dave from Stormy Sky Rail Productions for what they do. You do an amazing job with your channel, highlighting the railroad industry and what y'all do. You guys do a great job, and the success that you guys have had now and going into the future is well deserved. So thank you very much for everything that you do and for coming on to this train wreck of a show.
Thank you,
Brian. You are a wealth of knowledge. You're somebody that I can turn to whenever I have questions. You've been a great friend, and to have you on the show as a regular person to contribute on the program has been a blessing to me, and I thank you very much for what you do on the program. And Gary, you're a dear friend. One of these days we are going to meet in person. It is going to happen because I want to be able to stand there and shake your hand and give you a hug, because what you do for the Lee and Betty Johnson Memorial Charity, what you do for Reese Across America, what you do for Mission 22, you and I are brothers in that, and we have the same goals and the same ambitions, and you know, the fundraising wouldn't be as successful as it is without your help. You're always giving ideas, you're always giving suggestions, and you're always pushing me to be better. And you're always doing the hashtag find a way to serve. And we need more people like you in this world, sir. So thank you very much for what you do. And
Thank
Dan, you're my brother from another mother. You came and got me when COVID was a thing and I was sick.
Yeah. We had to eat.
Exactly.
I was hungry.
But you always you're always there for me too, And there's things that I share with you that I can't share with anybody else. And, there's some things that you share with me that I can't share with anyone else, because we have this brotherhood that we've had since the day that we met. And I love you. And I'm sorry for the pain that you've gone through this year. And I wish I could take it all on myself, because that's just who I am. And I'm just glad that you are part of this program and a part of my life and a very good friend. So thank you very much. And TJ, I know that you're in the chat, and I appreciate you also being here. And sorry you couldn't be here on the show today. It would just be too crowded with having 6 people on the screen. So we'll have you back. Probably the next episode is probably going to be a little bit more lighthearted. We'll probably go back to maybe doing Mad Libs style AI generated music again, just to have some fun. So look forward to that next week, Sunday. But Merry Christmas to everybody. Merry Christmas to you, Robert Mack. Thank you so much for coming in. But Merry Christmas to all of you. And try and remember that what you do could actually impact a life. And instead of just filming a tragedy, prevent a tragedy. That's my Christmas gift to all of you. And I thank you all for coming along for this ride with us. And we'll see you later on down the road. Merry Christmas, everybody.